All right, all right. I didn't really want that song to go off. It's such a good one. So upbeat. Thank you, Meg Johnson, behind the scenes there. Well, hey, team. Got a lot of us coming in still, but glad you guys are with us tonight. My name is Dee Corchin. We're here for our weekly team time. And tonight we're going to talk about building momentum. So whether you're a new coach, existing coach, been around for a while, all of our business is about consistency and doing the things that will make a difference so that we can impact lives. Because every single one of us signed up to become a coach because we wanted to impact lives. So we always like to start at the beginning, just kind of do a little open forum for a second. Does anybody have anything good that they would like to share from this week? Something fun that happened, maybe something that surprised you?
I will. I had a reactivated client who hasn't been on program in a couple years, and another who out of the blue said, "Is it okay if I just order some fuelings for the in-between times?" I was like, "Absolutely."
I
So
like it.
that was nice.
Yeah.
Been a while.
Been a while. Yeah. And, it might have to do, I mean, who knows? I mean, this time of year, back to school, whatever, people tend to want to get back to health. I will tell you, I get more and more people coming back these days saying, you know what, I tried a lot of things or I drifted away, but Optavia is the thing that works. So I'm so glad that you're there to welcome them back with open arms. I had shared, we have a group that has committed to the EDGE activities. These are the daily activities that Optavia has made so clear that if you do these consistently, you will see growth. It takes time, but it will see growth. And so I am not going to ever ask you guys to do something that I'm not doing. So I am leading, documenting in the app every day that I've done the activities, as well as reporting in this group. And you are welcome to join this group. But I had my first, it has not happened in, oh my gosh, months and months and months. But the first person like came into my inbox, direct messages, and said, I'm ready. Dee, I've been watching you, your transformations, the people you help. I'm feeling fat, flabby, whatever, and I want to connect. And so she's filling out her job form on my calendar. So, and I definitely attribute it to my consistency and that the algorithms are opening up and just in my mindset that I'm out there to serve and to help and that people will come. She is not one that I had started a conversation with on my own. So that's exciting. Anybody else? All right. Well, we have a new coach on our team, Joan Havens, and we're going to have her coach, Mindy. I saw you come on. Mindy McKibben is going to introduce her coach.
Yeah, so Joan and I met at work back in 2023, and so she was talking to me about wanting to lose weight, and she's been awesome on this program and has stuck to it, and just has done great. She's lost 65 pounds, and now she's going to start coaching, and so that she can help all of her family and friends also have the health that she's gained back.
I was muted. Can't wait to hear from Joan. But Mindy, I also want to welcome you on the call and thank you for coaching her so well and offering coaching. Like this is what it's all about. So glad that you are with us as well. Hope to see you more. So Joan, I think I saw you on. Can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, awesome. Can't wait to hear from you.
Well, I'm super excited. I think Mindy did a great job coaching me. I've had lots of fun with her. We've done a lot of fun things together, and she's really been a good mentor to me and helped me through a lot of stuff.
That's great. What are you most excited about, Joan, with coaching? Why did you say yes?
I think it's mainly I have a couple sisters that have been trying diligently to lose weight also. I've had some friends who desperately need to lose weight that have been trying for years, and I thought maybe if I'm a coach, maybe I could help them, you know, lose weight too, if they want me to help them. I like helping people. So I was thinking maybe it would be good to help some friends and some family.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think that's great. And you are the one that they trust, right? They
Mhm.
know you best. You can refer to Mindy and Mindy would be happy to help them, but they'll be more likely to say yes because you're standing there saying, "Hey, I've got something that could help. So, well, great. Well, you've got a great mentorship line between Mindy and Frank and Shauna. So you're in great hands. And we've got these calls weekly. Glad that you're a part of it. And it's going to be fun to see whose lives you get to impact and how coaching enhances your journey and how your life has changed with that. So congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. That's so exciting. And I had a conversation today with Emily Liner, and she said something to me that was like, it just always comes down to this. So I said, would you share on Team Time tonight? So Emily, it is good to see you on our call, and maybe you can just kind of give the fans a little background about you, how long you've been coaching, and kind of what's going on.
Yeah. Hey guys. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been coaching for about 6 years. I'm coming up on my 6-year anniversary. Can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Okay. I never know if this AirPod's working. Started coaching in probably about 3 months into my journey back in 2019. And I lost 42 pounds on Optavia. And then started coached a lot of clients, into through COVID, and just had a lot of success, both myself personally with maintaining, and then coaching others as well. And so I got pregnant in 2022, and I think kind of built this thing up in my head where I was like, 5-in-1 is my backup plan, right? Like it worked the first time, it's going to work again. And I just had this expectation that I would go right back to it right after the baby, like no need to worry about the baby weight. It'll just fall off again like it did. And so when I started back postpartum, I really struggled, really struggled. Mentally, physically, like I couldn't stick to the plan. I was maybe on for 4 days, 5 days, off and on, off and on, off and on. Couldn't be consistent, and I got really frustrated. And then I waited a couple of months and I tried again, same thing, just couldn't stick to it. And I got to admit, I didn't really reach out and ask for help, which was probably the first problem, even though I know better. And so we're about a year post that last try that I gave it. I started working with a nutritionist about 9 months ago. And my primary goal with her obviously was to lose weight. Let me see if we can go at this a different approach. Maybe it's the hormones, maybe it's, something else. So I was definitely searching for something to work. In that 9 months, I've actually ended up gaining about 7 pounds from where I started. So I had an epiphany. I was on the beach about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. And I could feel myself slipping into a mindset of, gosh, like I'm so mad. I'm mad because, and I might get emotional. It worked. I know it works. It worked for so many of my clients. Like, why am I here again? Nothing works for me now. Even this amazing plan that was my saving grace before. And I felt myself going down that hill, and I stopped myself and I said, no, we're not doing this. You're ready. You've reached rock bottom again. You know what to do, just commit. Just do it. No excuses. This is what worked. And I made that decision on the beach, and not even 2 hours later, I had 2 clients, old clients, reach out and say, I think I'm ready to go. And one of them was a really dear friend of mine that I've gotten close to. And she said, I'm going to do it with you. We're going to do it August 4th. Here we go. I'm on day 8. I have stuck to plan consistently. I feel great. No issues so far this time. Really excited and motivated. And it is going to work this time because I'm going to stick to it and do it and lean on Dee for support and lean on my clients that are starting. And I actually had a 3rd client place an order a couple of days ago. So 3. So I know we are all kind of in these seasons where it's up and down and we get discouraged and we get frustrated. But I hope this is encouraging to somebody on this call tonight. it does work if you can follow it. And sometimes you're just not there. You're not ready to follow it and make that commitment. But it's not the plan. The
Yeah.
plan works. Yeah. And my friend, she was one of my, I call them biggest losers before. And I met her, somebody referred her to me, met her through Optavia, and she is on day 8 today as well, down 10.2 pounds.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, Emily, and thank you for your vulnerability and for sharing. And I think what you had shared was that almost like your belief system and the thought patterns were contributing to why you were stopping every
Yeah.
time. And it's not the program that wasn't working, but when we stop, and we know that. I wanted to share this anyway, and it's a perfect time to just stick it in real quick. Is that I heard a great analogy about coaching and the power of consistency when we relate it to our health journey or coaching a client and the power of consistency. And how often when you're coaching a client, let's just remove ourselves from this equation, but we do it and a client gets frustrated because they didn't get the immediate result, right? So the scale goes down. Now there's emotions, there's anger, they stop following the process. Well, then what happens? Then the results get messed up, right? And there's so many contributing factors that go into why we stop following the process. And the same exact thing happens with our coaching business. And it's why we talk about creating that consistency, the do it anyway mindset, because the stops, the starts, the push, the pull, it makes it so difficult. The results are there. It's us deciding how we're going to get there. So thank you for that, Emily. I hope you're seeing the comments blow up. You definitely touched someone tonight. So. All right, Meg, we got a lot more to go, so I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yes. And Emily, that was so encouraging. You said, I hope this encourages someone, and it looks like it encouraged so many people. So thank you for being brave and sharing a piece of your heart and the real with us. That was really cool. Wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about the 2 calls that we had recently over the last couple of days. One was the Edge call that happened Thursday night, and then one was the Momentum Boot Camp that happened on Saturday morning. So be thinking about takeaways you have from either one of those calls, because we're going to ask you for them in just a second. But before we do that, I wanted to just give a shout out to Carolyn Twitchell, who couldn't be on tonight. But you probably remember she had 5 new clients like the month before last, right? We did celebrated her, and she's going to give an update on how everything's going with that program that she started. But I wanted to tell you, we did 2 celebration calls last week. And one of those celebration calls was with a client who came on with 3 people that were chomping at the bit to become clients, which is like so exciting. She's had incredible transformation. She tried to do this weight loss on her own. She lost 1 pound over a series of about 4 months. Then she got on our plan and she lost 13 pounds in a month. So like I'm such a nerd. I'm thinking of the percentage change there of like what happened, but it's like so big. I think it would break the calculator. It is crazy the difference that this plan gave her after 1 month when she had been trying for so long. So that was just incredibly encouraging. So wanted to just give people that reminder. And then another client that we talked to was kind of found herself at a stalemate, where she found herself at a plateau. She exercised a lot. She was an athlete. And so she checked in with her coach, Carolyn. They had a great coaching call. They switched things up to the 4 and 2 because of how active she is. And y'all, when we were on with her, she thought her scale was broken because of the number of pounds that she lost. Like literally, she was like, I'm going to tell you this number, but I don't think it's right. I'm going to go home and check it again. Because she was stuck, but she checked in with her coach. She shifted things, and boom, things started to work again. Like we know this, right? But it was like wind in my sails, being reminded of like, yes, the power of a coach, right? And the difference that we make when we connect with our clients and when they share with us what's going on and what's hard. So just wanted to share those 2 quick stories with you and remind you, if you haven't done a celebration call in a while, this might be a great time. And it's okay if they've been on plan longer than a month or longer than a week or whatever. I have a feeling you can think of something to celebrate with them. And if you need help thinking about it, I can always think of something to celebrate. So let us know about that. But wanted to shift to talk about the Edge call that happened on Thursday and the Momentum Bootcamp call. And if you'll start popping in the chat any big ahas that you had, or even if you were on, letting us know that you were on. I will say there's a Facebook group for the Momentum Bootcamp. And so you can go back and watch the Momentum call. It was so great. I strongly recommend listening to it. Listen to it when you're on a walk, whatever, but also listen to it when you've got a pad of paper and a pen, because that's how good it is. I needed to be able to take notes. So just wanted to give you a little plug in there for the Momentum. One of the things that they shared about, which I thought was so cool, was when you're having a hard day, it's important that you surround yourself with people that are going to bring you up. Being on this call is one of those ways that we are brought up. If you noticed last week, Dee shared she was having a hard day, and every single person on this call jumped in and gave her love. And so that wouldn't have happened probably if she wouldn't have been vulnerable and shared the real of what was really going on. So thought that was a really good reminder. But one of the things that I really loved, one of the couples that was sharing, they said anytime they have a new client start, their goal is to give them the experience of their life, especially that first month as they're getting started, right? They're not just sending the video of how to get started, but they're really making sure that they have a good understanding of how things work on the 5-in-1, and they're making sure all of their T's are crossed and their I's are dotted, and they are really coaching their clients strong in that first week, because that's what builds on itself. And I was incredibly encouraged. One of the stories that was told, and to be honest, I don't know whether it was the Edge call or the boot camp, because both of them were great, but they had a new coach that was on, that was a restart, a client who had restarted the plan, right? Hadn't coached before, restarted the plan and started coaching and was having incredible success. And so it was just encouraging to be reminded that people are out there, they need what we have, and they need our coaching opportunity. I know Frank has posted one of his takeaways on the Momentum call was treat it like a business, stay consistent. The hardest part is getting started and getting it rolling. And that is so true. I found that a little bit with the Edge activities. I don't know about you, but I downloaded got the new app. It required an update, right? The new Optavia Coach app, and was going in, and I felt a little overwhelmed, or I don't even know the word. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel like I could complete the tasks. There was something in my head that was like getting in my way. And so, but I was like, you know what? I've done these things already today. So I'm just going to mark them off. And so I started to mark them off. And you know what happened? Dopamine hit, right? Because whenever we do things, we mark something off a list, it's like that hit of dopamine. So I want to just challenge you, if you've been resistant to marking your Edge activities down, to take the plunge and get your phone out right now and just put a check mark under being on your team coaching call, because you're here, you're on it. So you already did one. But please note, you got to hit save changes down at the bottom for you to save all of your work. So make sure you get credit for that. I want to kind of open it up because I feel like I've talked a little too much already. Did anybody else listen to the Edge or the Momentum call, and what came for you when you watched it? Like, what takeaways did you have from either one of those calls?
Meg, I can talk. This is
Great.
Pat.
Hey, Pat.
Hey, so I watched the Momentum call. I actually was driving to my daughter's house, and so I listened to the first half, and so I couldn't take notes, missed the second half, but I was really enjoying it. So I listened later, and then I've actually listened again to take some notes. And so there was a lot of high level stuff that kind of just got me. But then, there's tons of, like you said, tips, that you should write down. But in general, some of the things that I was getting was, with the Edge activities, sometimes I feel like I get really caught up with the what counts as a conversation, and what is this, and one thing Dan was saying was you know, who have I connected with today? Who have I encouraged, or did I, it's not just like saying I said happy birthday to 3 friends, and counting it, check it off, but like really think about like throughout your day, not just on Facebook, but just throughout your day, really making connections, and some of it on Facebook, but some of it in person. And JC Dornick was talking about starting each day with gratitude and just like, who can I help? Who can I serve? And so I feel like I can get, if I think about business transactions and where my business is, it can be pretty disheartening. But if I just throw all that away for the moment and just like each day, who can I serve? And just try to make really connections, but then still be posting, and where people, if they do look me up, they know that I do offer that. That's where my brain needs to stay. Just keep loving people and serving people. And as far as the edge activities, I think it is great to have those things that we know if we do these things, it's going to grow our business, but don't get too caught up in it, and certainly don't look at the results yet, because it's going to take a while,
Yes. Oh, that was so good, Pat.
One more thing, just I'm not rebuilding, I am creating something new, and just
Beautiful. So good. I'm not rebuilding. I'm not rebuilding. I'm creating something new. Vicki, you came off mute. Did you have something you wanted to share?
Yeah, and I'll be real fast, but the first thing, which has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I have noticed over the last several weeks that there are some returning faces to these calls, and it just makes my heart happy to see y'all back. So keep coming, and if you have a coach on your team, encourage them to come back here. It just makes me happy to see y'all. So anyway, keep coming. And speaking of that, like probably my biggest takeaway was the whole theme of being consistent. And I know for me, sometimes when I'm being consistent and I'm posting before and afters, and they're the only people who comment or like are other coaches, that kind of stuff, I have a tendency to go, oh, it's not doing any good. I shouldn't do that. Or but you know what? People are going to scroll by whether you do it once a day or never, or once a month or once a year. If they don't want to see it, they're going to scroll by. But I'm also going to tell you that sometimes when people are scrolling by, they're still seeing it, and they might be thinking about it. They're just not ready to comment or to press the little thumbs up thing. And I know that because I've done that. And just today, I ordered a thing for the backseat of the car for the dog. I have been scrolling by that ad for 2 months and occasionally doing a little side research. And today I ordered it. So the consistency thing, I think, is way more important than sometimes we give it credit for. So for what that's worth, and this whole edge thing, and getting going and having kind of the checklist of things to do. Tiffany Howard shared something about a plane taking off, going on a flight. I did a little research, so I said it correctly because I knew she was speaking off the top of her head. But the amount of fuel consumption at takeoff is much greater than the fuel consumption while the plane is in flight. Now, the amount of fuel used while the plane is just up in flight is way more than what it took, but that gallon per minute of takeoff is huge. And I feel like that's where the 90 days of edge is. I think that's the takeoff. So it doesn't mean that when, we get up, we get going, and now we don't have to do anything. It just means that this is where the big push of energy and fuel is coming from. So, and then the other thing was the whole, commitment. Are you really committed to do that Edge Boot Camp on Saturdays? And this is not a brag on myself by any stretch, but our son and grandson made a last minute request to come visit us. And I was like, absolutely. But I will tell you, Saturday morning, I have a commitment.
And they were like, that's okay, we'll just go do something else. It was amazing how flexible they all were. So kind of, keep that in mind because and you all may be much better about this than me, but if I say, oh, I don't want to watch it now, I'll watch the recording. The chances of my actually watching the recording are not nearly as great. So I throw that out there. And if you haven't watched, if you didn't watch it, if you go to the Momentum Facebook page, Momentum Boot Camp 2025, what's his name? Gary V is the one who did the video calls, and they have his video explanation of what he did is pulled out from the call, and it's just on there with coaches who have done it and posted their video on there so you can get an idea of what some of the calls are. So get commitment to do that for yourself this week.
I love that, Vicki. And I'm going to post in the chat the Facebook link. If you're not a part of that group, it's very easy to become a part of the group and to start watching the boot camp, which is great. Who else has something that they want to share?
So Meg, I think we all agree the overwhelming theme for the calls is consistency. And it takes, every time I hear the word consistent, I go back to a training that we went to, I think about a year ago. John Maxwell was on stage, the famous author, and he talked for a couple hours, but I remember one line that he said. People ask him why he's so famous, why he made millions and millions, why he's such a great author. He says, because he writes something down on a pad of paper every single day for 365 days a year. Every day. Somebody said, yeah, on your birthday? Yeah, on my birthday. On Christmas? Yeah, on Christmas. He's consistent every single day. Now that doesn't mean I'm 365 or we have to be 365, but that is the power of consistency.
For sure. That's a great reminder. Thank you, Frank. Anybody else? And I want to give a shout out to Pat reminding us of the importance of just connecting with people with hearts ready to serve. And whether you're at the bus stop or whether you're at the grocery store or wherever it is that you're encountering, whoever you are encountering, the bug guy, whatever, but having a heart that is positioned in a place to serve is a great heart posture, and things will come back. I really believe that.
Well, I am happy to pop in to kind of close us out. In the Facebook group are two things just to remind you guys of is tomorrow night there is a kind of a real talk on coaching, but it's 4 things I wish I knew before becoming a coach. So if you have somebody in mind that you think would like to hear about this, that's a great way to invite and start to expand the opportunity of coaching to other people in your world, clients or non-clients. And then the other thing is on Thursday at 2 p.m. there is a Ascend call, and Nick Johnson, president of Optavia, is going to be on it talking about the new wave, Optavia 3.0. And we really are in that transition stage of the new growth, primarily based on what you guys are so good at, which is servant leadership, really come up from that place of heart. And every one of us on this call is a leader. You are in a position to influence and you are in a position to impact. And like Frank said, with consistency, with consistency requires perseverance. And there will be highs and lows, whether you are day 1 as a coach, day, 5,000 as a coach, there's going to be highs and lows. And all of us like the achievements. We like the results, but what we don't like is the in-between and that discomfort of what happens between the actions and the results. And that can impact our actions. So just remember that endurance builds your character. It builds where you are. It also, it involves dealing with pressure, and it involves dealing with fear, right? Criticism, right? Anytime you stand for something, there is going to be a critic out there for it, but you know what you know, what you know. about Optavia. It's worked for all of us. We know what this program can do for people. There are millions of clients as evidence. So I want to share with you something I learned today, and maybe Meg, you can put this in the comment each one. But I heard a great acronym for the word courage. And if you know me, the biggest years of my growth in this business was when I decided to embrace courage. And I heard this at a leadership event I was at this morning. So the acronym for courage, so write down the word courage, COURAGE. The C stands for confidence in who you are and where God has placed you. So God, the universe, whatever, higher powers that be, whatever it is, it has placed you in this role as a coach, as somebody to serve and help other people. So confidence in that you are exactly where you need to be. The O means out front. You will stand out when you stand up for something. So we have to accept the fact that we are going to be out and we're going to be bold, but by doing so, it is going to make a difference. The third is unshakable. So with those criticisms, with your disappointments, being able to move forward, focused on the mission. Meg has put it in the comments. Resolve is confidence in what it is that you are leading. Having that resolve that you're confident that this is important. Adaptability. I mean, come on, you guys, how many things have changed along the way, right? We got to be willing to pivot and be flexible. And having that growth mindset, the embracing the challenges, the obstacles. A challenge or an obstacle reflects brightly where the growth is needed, where a shift is needed. E, the last one, is for encouragement, right? We all need encouragement. Take that time, compliment a coworker, compliment a client, compliment somebody in your world, encourage them, compliment somebody at the airport. Like it just makes a difference when you're that kind of person. And when you as a leader get better, everybody gets better. So we are right up on 8 o'clock. Dan Bell is on the community call, really talking about the heart of Optavia and why it's designed the way it is. So I encourage you to hop on, maybe text a client and invite them to join you. And you're always welcome to be on Dan and Megan Valentine's team time call at 8:30. So thank you guys to everybody who shared. We'll see you in the Facebook group this week and have a great rest of the evening.